So their most recent project, Starcatcher, came out in 2023. Was what, last month? July?
Yeah, it came out last month, maybe
Okay.
3 weeks ago.
Okay. Yeah. So
Now, let me say this. They got some really cool album artwork. So From the Fires is just like a campfire look. It's whatever. The album covers for the last two albums are both these wildly Ballad Gardens Gate's pretty simple too. I'm thinking more Anthem of the Peaceful Army has this absurdly wild cover of this like fantasy world with two suns and this wild landscape. This album cover fucking blows. It is a white album cover with what looks to be like a bit of a Ripley curtain, like a white curtain. There's no like display or anything on this album cover. It just says Starcatcher across the front in faded white font.
yeah, very bland. It reminded me of the Foo Fighters' most recent album, but that's a tribute album, so I won't grade that
Not
the
gonna
same.
dog him.
Right.
Not gonna dog him.
Right.
But yeah, Alex he bought this album on vinyl. I was like, don't get me wrong, like the music's one thing, but like if I'm gonna buy vinyl, I'm buying something with some sick artwork.
Yeah.
And this ain't it, Chief.
Very
But
bland.
that being said, this album came out. I was very, very pumped up. 3 albums in or 3 projects in, very, very like happy with what they did. So I guess I'll say the bar was high. They didn't quite clear what my bar was, but this is still a very good album.
Yeah. I enjoyed the album. I don't think it was my favorite album of theirs.
Like, it's not a classic.
No.
Yeah. It's
But
no
it's-
Anthem of the Peaceful Army.
It's still solid, though.
It's still solid, no doubt. And that's exactly what I said to Alex. So let's get into it. They open with Fate of the Faithful. And I do actually think this is Fate of the Faithful, sorry. It's a good opener for this album. It's just a good song. Not a great song, just a good song. You know?
I like it.
This is very much like typical of the last 2 albums, though, in terms of sound here. Mid-tempo, high energy. Nice back and forth of like heavy chords and clean high notes. Josh gives great energy on the mic here again, but there's just something not quite there in terms of when I think of like songs like this on the last 2 albums. It reminds me a little bit more From the Fires. It's good. It's just good.
Yeah, I might be off base in this, but for me, a lot of the lyrics on this album are very similar to some of the lyrics in the previous couple albums, and it just feels like it's maybe they're just kind of staying safe for this album.
A little conservative, yeah, 100%.
But all that said, I mean, this song specifically explores the consequences of blind faith. Some of the lyrics: "We fought for the fable, but instead we burn, and in the end of time, left and empty."
Yeah.
So
that's Fate of the Faithful. Follows that up with Waited All Your Life. Here's another nice track, we'll say. Acoustic chords kind of throughout. Josh on the vocals again, killing it. He goes through his whole fucking range on this song. Mid-tempo, mid-energy on the instruments. The instrumentals kind of like fill up as it goes along. It starts out fairly simple and then like fills up and fills up. Like keyboard comes in kind of like halfway through the album or through the song. And then it gets a little bit trippy like as you get to the last part of the song. It's a good track. It's good.
yeah, good. Nothing stand out for me. It was just a solid track.
Yeah, and I think let me go ahead and keep going, but Alex got to this album before I did, and he sent me a funny review.
Okay.
So
Yeah, so the next track is The Falling Sky, which is one of my favorites off the album. I really like this track.
yeah, so I'll say the next 5, 6, 7. Fuck, the rest of this album rocks. The first 2 tracks leave me a little hanging. The rest of this album rocks.
I really like the first track. The second one, yeah. The Falling Sky is a good song, maybe about struggle. I'm not quite sure. I read the lyrics a couple times. I've been handed a quite demanding and hardly standing lie to tell. Life is sordid and never thwarted. It's just supporting by being well.
What? Do the rhyme again.
I've been handed a quite demanding and hardly standing lie to tell. Life is sordid and never thwarted. It's just supported by being well.
Gotcha. Yeah, it's a cool track. This is where they really get. It's so much better than the first 2, in my opinion. That being said, this is another very Zeppelin-y song. It feels very. I don't know what album. I didn't write it down, but it's just very Zeppelin-y. bluesy, up tempo, high energy. You get Josh like chanting and yelling on this track. Harmonica kicks in later. Like, how are you gonna say we're not a Zeppelin like band, and then fucking throw in harmonica on this song?
You can't throw in harmonica.
No, but if you're gonna be like,
I
plant,
know.
like whatever, and then you're Josh and you're gonna hit the harmonica, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up.
Dude, you know what'd be funny is if they just released like a whole cover album of Zeppelin songs.
Well, that's the whole thing about the Yardbirds, is like, if you do the Zeppelin, like the joke is almost too obvious. But if you do the Yardbirds cover, there'll be some people who are like, oh, this sounds like Zeppelin too.
Oh yeah. That's true.
But anyways,
Or they throw in a couple of Plants like solo projects.
yeah, something like that, right? Really nice chorus here. This chorus fucking rocks. This is a really, really cool track.
Yeah, definitely.
So, 6 tracks in, Alex sent me this. First impression. First 2 tracks are honestly a little boring. Boring's not the right word, but I get it. I get what he's trying to say. Cannot say the same for the next 4, which are great. First track may grow on me.
I like it.
Anyways, so they follow up the following sky with Sacred the Thread. And this is a really, really cool song too. Mid-tempo, kind of like sweeter track. It gives you this powerful or like spiritual dreaming vibe. And my voice is going as we go longer and longer.
Yeah, you're good.
I'm so sorry.
We're on the last album. It's all good.
Mid to like mid-high level on the vocals here. Instruments stay in this like mid-level. Love the vibe of this track. Really cool song.
So this is about. I didn't write down if it was Jake or Josh, but it's about one of their jumpsuits. They said, I always like to think that some of the people's first impressions of Greta Van Fleet in concert is, wow, these guys really like dressing to the left and blowing shit up. This song is particularly important to me because it's about my jumpsuits.
All right.
Which I thought was kind of odd.
Yeah, it's strange. And actually, now that you bring that up, it's interesting. So when they toured for From the Fires, they were a pretty typical looking rock band. Like, they didn't wear anything crazy or nothing like that. They're in between that and Anthem of the Peaceful Army, and they go and do something for like Elton John's Music Academy. And Elton John mentions to them at this Music Academy, hey, fellas, you got to get a little bit more eccentric with it. You got to give the people a little something.
You don't have to. You can dress however you want.
Okay, it's fucking Elton John, okay? What the fuck is he going to say? Elton John is one of the most eccentric performers in music.
Okay.
That being said, from that point on, they dress very eccentrically.
I think that's why some people don't like them, too.
Yeah, they're definitely out there for sure, but like,
not that it's right, but
they're fucking rock stars. They dress weird.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. If you're rocking that, dude, the guy from Bring Me the Horizon, like that guy probably dresses like a clown. Machine Gun Kelly, who's more, I mean, he's more rap than rock, but he dresses like, I mean, yeah.
Go back as far as you want. Robert Plant dressed weird. Queen dressed weird. Van Halen dressed weird. Like, your favorite hair metal bands dressed like women. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is just something that rock stars have done since the beginning of rock.
Yeah,
what it is.
I also don't get, like, if you like the music, then you don't care. But if you don't, like, I don't know, who cares?
Yeah, it's a very, like,
it's 2023.
It's a very tangential point to be like, oh, they dress weird. I don't like them.
Right.
The fuck does that have to do with anything?
Right.
Anyways.
So the next track is Runaway Blues, which this is the one I mentioned. This is one of the more obvious similarities to Zeppelin. This sounds a lot like Four Sticks.
Yeah, it does. It's like this minute. I think it's a minute 17 only. That's quick. But it's just like really, really up-tempo, fast, bluesy rock song. Love this guitar work here. A lot of yelling from Josh on the mic. They're moving fast, all of them, including Josh. Singing fast. Very, very Zeppelin, as you mentioned. Really cool song.
Yeah. The next song is the Indigo Streak, which I had no idea what this song's about.
I don't either. This is another one with a very, like, transcendental vibe to it. The title's trippy. The lyrics are trippy. It just is what it is. Kind of bluesy, though. Mid-high tempo, high-energy instruments with Josh kind of like mid-energy on the verses and then really high on the choruses. About 2/3 of the way through the track, they get this like slow, trippy instrumental. And then they kick in like this buzzy guitar and keyboard, softer drums throughout. It's just a good track for me.
Yeah. Yeah, same here. There's aspects of religion in the lyrics, but again, I really have no idea what the message they were trying to convey.
It's tough to distill.
Yeah. The next song is Frozen Light.
Yeah, so this is like mid-tempo, high-energy vocals here. Heavy notes, wavy keyboard, kind of hovering around the whole time. Up-tempo, clean solo towards the end. It just feels like there's just not quite something here. There's something just a little off. I don't know how to put it.
Yeah, so for me on this song, I was curious if this was an ode to Frankenmuth, perhaps? Question mark?
I could see that for sure. That makes sense.
Some of the lyrics, frozen light like falling snow, here to guide us the long way home. The streets are silent, the moonlight is dancing. 4 brothers searching for a meal. I mean, there's 4 of them in the band. Obviously, 3 of them are brothers, but I don't know.
Right. Yeah, no, I can totally see that for sure. Like I said, I don't know, there's just a weird confluence of, not weird, it's a good track, don't get me wrong, but it's just something doesn't match up here musically with the vocals. It's just not my favorite track on the album. I still think it's better than like Waited All Your Life. It's probably bottom 3 though.
No, I get what you're saying. It's not as memorable when you're looking back at the track list.
Yeah, for sure.
The next song kind of falls in the same boat for me.
Ooh, I love that. I like the song a lot.
Oh, okay. The Archer. Yeah, I don't know. For some reason this was one of the ones. It was decent, but I was just not a lot of replay value for me personally.
Right. So this is kind of like a strummy acoustic track. Thick, powerful kind of mid-tuned guitar though. Like it's a strummy acoustic, but the guitar is still thick. Prominent drums. You get like battle vibes from this song. Ready to go to war. Josh is like kind of like yelling, chanting a little bit more again this song. And his voice, I don't know quite how else to say it, except it feels like his mic is like way off in the distance compared to the rest of it. Like it's got this like hollow kind of echoey sound to it, I guess is the best way of describing it. But I really like this song.
Yeah, I agree with the battle vibes for sure. The next song, this one you had alluded to being very, very religious. Meeting the Master.
Yeah, the distinct reference to a higher power. Meeting the Master. This is a like cool, trippy, slower acoustic track. Soft, sweet singing throughout. Really nice full vocal range here. Keyboard hovering like throughout the song, but you don't really hear any drums on this track. This is just simple acoustic. Josh never really gets out of like a mid-high range on this song, even in the chorus, but it's good for this track. It matches the energy well. This is maybe my favorite track off this album.
I do like it, and the band did say, sung in the voice of a devout believer, the song details the love of these followers have for their teacher and their firm belief in his vision. So, yeah, meeting the really Master, cool. Obviously, a metaphor for meeting God or whoever you believe in.
Yeah, and then they close out this album with "Farewell for Now."
Yeah,
kind of this acoustic, kind of quick, plucky licks mixed in with fun mid-tune chords, mid-high energy on the mic. A lot of that choral kind of background singing matching up with Josh. Mid-tempo. Energy kind of picks up at the end of the song a little bit and like fills it up. This is a nice, another great closer to this album.
I mean, the song literally just sounds like they're telling you like they're closing out the album.
Yep, this is closing time. This is this is closing time.
My second album, Stone Temple Pilots.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
And I wish we could all stay, but I bid you a farewell. And it means the world to play, but I bid you a farewell.
Yeah, I mean, the lyrics or whatever. It's still just a nice track.
Yeah, yeah. No, sure. Definitely. It would be weird if it were anywhere else on the album.
Yeah. Imagine throwing that in like track 6. Just troll. But,
yeah.
So that wraps up Starcatcher. Good album, not great.